Good morning, Hounds of Justice. This is Ruben1127 from State 365. I'm making a video today, or a guide, to help my fellow Alliance members get better at the game and enjoy it a little bit more. So today we're going to talk about hero placement. We're going to start off with the basic heroes. Heroes that almost everybody has. So, Destroyer. If you look at his second kill skill, Destroyer has a range of 2. Now that he's being in the front row, in my front row, he's randomly going to attack the first 2 rows of the enemy. As you can see there, it says an effective range of 2. It targets 1 random enemy squad with an effective range. Now let's look at his second skill, a range of 3. As he's in the first row, he's going to be able to attack any of the 3 enemy rows. Now let's look at Arsenal. Since Arsenal is in the middle, and you have one other row in front of you, you're going to subtract 3 from 1, which gives you 2, which means you're going to be able to attack the first 2 enemy rows. Now, the reason why Arsenal cannot ever go in the back row is because he can target 2 random enemy squads within effective range. And if he's in the back, you would have to subtract 3 minus 2, which is your first 2 rows, your front and your middle, and it would give you a total of 1. So that means he's always going to attack the first row, but since he does damage to multiple enemies, he's going to miss his second row. And that's not good, because it makes his hero ineffective, and the damage output would be half of what he could actually do. With that being said, Arsenal is a hero that can be either in the front or in the middle because of his range. Now, the reason why I have it set up the way I have it set up is because when you are fighting another enemy, you always want to have your heroes focus on a specific row as much as possible. The reason being is because if you are able to eliminate one row of the enemy, you have a higher chance of winning the match. The first person to eliminate the first row usually wins the match. Typically, that's how it works. Okay? So, now let's say, for example, I were to do Forsaken 1 in the front, Destroyer in the middle, and War Boss in the back. War Boss has a range of between 4 and 5. As you can see, range 4, range 5, range 5. Heroes that have a range between 1 and 2 always need to be in the front. Heroes who have a range of 2 to 3 always need to be either in the front row or the middle row. And heroes that typically have a range of 3 to 5, when they have a range of 3 and it's single damage, they need to be in the back. If it's multiple damage, they cannot be in the back because of the same explanation I gave you about Arsenal. He's going to miss half of his damage output. So now that we had put Forsaken in the front row, we're going to notice that Forsaken has a range of 2, a range of 3, and a range of 2. Now this is a better setup in a sense, because Forsaken has a chance, the probability of attacking the first 3 rows, or the first 2. And then Destroyer has the chance of attacking only the first row, which means he's focusing on only 1 row. Since War Boss has a range of 4, he's going to be focusing the first 2 rows, and then his other 2 skills will be focusing any 3 rows. When you're placing your heroes, you always want to check each and every skill, how many enemies it attacks, and the debuff or buff that it gives. You don't want 2 heroes that have the same exact debuff focusing the same row, because you're going to waste the debuff. So let's say, for example, Destroyer had suppression, and let's just give an example that War Boss, just an example, doesn't have it, had suppression as well. If they both focus on the first row, yes, the first row would always be suppressed, but let's say they were to queue at the same time, you just wasted 1 turn of suppression that you could have used on a second row or third row, for example. So you don't want to have your heroes that have the same debuff focusing 1 row, because you're wasting it in a sense. You don't want to have double suppression 1 round. That would only last 1 round. Just an example. Another thing is, when you're replacing your heroes, you want to make sure that all your heroes can give you the same troop buff. So you don't want to mix and match troops. And if you do, there are very little combinations that actually work well when you mix and match. For example, you can have Destroyer in the front, you can have Arsenal in the middle, and then you can have something like Iron Guard in the back, but you will lose this buff. When you have all of the 3 same units, which is all 3 vehicles, all 3 fighters, all 3 shooters, you're going to have what's a buff called Formation Buff. As you can see here, it says same unit buff, all vehicles formation might 30%, resistance 30%, etc., etc. Also, when you are placing your heroes, okay, you want to make sure that each hero can combine well with the next hero. So let's say you have a hero that increases your combat skill, and most of his skills are combat related skills, not physical attack. The difference between combat skill and attack is combat skill are kill skills. For example, this is a combat skill, as you can see there. You want your heroes to be able to basically back each other up. So when you're placing your heroes, you want either all 3 heroes to do physical damage, which would be focusing on your specific units, such as vehicles, to be a stronger attacker, higher might, etc. Or you want all your heroes to be increasing the combat skill to maximize the output of damage possible. So I made a short video just so that everybody gets a little hang of it. If there's something I'm missing or anything like that, just let me know. Haven't done this in a very long time. Hopefully I didn't confuse anybody. Just to recap, if you have a skill hero of a range of 1 to 2, he needs to be in the front always. If you have a range hero of 2 to 3, he can always be between the front row or middle row. And if you have a hero of range 3 to 5, and the range 3 has single damage targets, he can either be mid or back rows. Anyways, guys, I want to thank you for watching this. I hope you guys understood the video. Hopefully you watched and learned something. And anybody who's not in State 365, you are welcome to migrate here. House of Justice is recruiting. We are looking to do much better in Doomsday Eden this season. Thank you. Over and out.